Here we go, the last video for the Boushh helmet. This is the final part. We've been talking about this probably in the last video or so. These are the parts. This is the finished part. And that is what we've been waiting for. We're basically in the realms of packing and shipping, and that is the final video on the Boushh helmet. It's basically a done deal. We're basically sticking the fork right into it. If we could just find that missing piece. We are on the road. We've got a road trip today. And it's because of the Boushh helmet that we're making this journey, because we're going to try and find the missing kit part from the antenna. I think we've started calling it an antenna now rather than a rangefinder. The comms array, or what, you know, the bit. I'm gonna find the needle in the haystack, possibly.
That's an incredible haystack, because I've just been in there doing a bit of B-roll of all the kits. So where are you going to start?
I can advise on where to start. Whether the needle will be in the haystack is not my issue.
Yeah,
it's for you to look, but I can provide a haystack definitely.
As a starting, let's see what we know. Why is that zooming in? What we know is it's a grey piece, and it's about an inch long, and it's thin, and it's got a couple of details.
Yeah.
The grey is the clue in it at the moment. So we're thinking naval.
I think possibly naval. It's naval or aircraft. But these things sometimes end up being so left field, but because the images are so undetailed.
So it looks like...
See, that to me looks like it's got two pips on it.
What, them there?
Yeah.
I think they're scratches on the helmet underneath.
Well, there you go.
I think it's a thin piece with a raised bit at the front and a raised bit at the back. But that might be the front, that might be the back on the piece. And that piece is cut. So that piece could be a piece of a piece.
Yeah, it could be, you know.
All the other ones, apart from that one, are the full piece.
Yeah.
But that's
been trimmed. Some has been trimmed.
That front one's been trimmed. That back one, we don't know.
Well, here's the logic, and logic doesn't always work. If the front one was trimmed, it might be because it didn't have room because the back one wasn't trimmed.
Yeah, I like that idea.
So rather than trimming two parts, they've put the back one on first, and then the front one, they've gone, oh yeah, that looks okay, but it's a bit long, cut the back off it, it fits. Trimming the front one to fit it to a space it already fits in doesn't make sense.
No.
So I would suggest that they work from the back to front.
On that one.
So the chances are the part you're looking for should be whole.
Okay, what have we got to look at?
So I'll have to move some bits. So basically, that was English in my mind. In here, I recommend
Yeah.
don't look at any tank, don't look at anything World War II, don't look at anything motor car, don't even touch that, don't even look at it, don't even touch that. Not meant to know that exists. I would say there's all your naval stuff, a few more naval stuff down there, and then beyond that you really want to be looking in the stuff like this, don't worry with that one because it's blue, so it's definitely not from that. So we'll get the kits out which are more sort of aircraft, but this is your starting point here, all the naval stuff.
Okay.
And that's definitely where I'd start.
This is all grey.
Do you want it to be grey, don't you?
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying naval.
What if I find it in the first one?
You won't have already looked.
There's nothing on that one. Is that the size of the ship when it's finished? That?
Yeah.
That's a tiny model, this one.
Yeah. It's 1/700 scale, which means it's 700 times smaller than the thing it is.
What's that?
That's from some of them are mixed up.
Aircraft
Some-
carrier.
Yeah, that'll be from I forget.
That was definitely used on the Boushh. This was used on the Scout Trooper. This is used on a number of things. I've already checked all of them because I've got those. So basically what we're looking for is a little grey piece of plastic, and this right now is my best option.
I think with the images you've got, a good substitute is really lucky. To find it would be a real miracle. You know, unless there was one sharper image that gave you all the actual detail.
Okay, we're done. It's finished. The antenna is done for the Boushh helmets. This was the last thing we need. We are basically on the precipice of shipping now. So that will be happening in the next few days, week, something like that. They're going to start moving. But the question that you're probably asking yourself is, did we identify the part? Hold up. Before we talk about whether we found it or not, there's one other thing missing from this antenna, and that is the little brass screw. And I wanted to show you these because this is pretty cool. We got some vintage brass screws. Look at the packaging. God knows how long they've had these on the shelf. I can't imagine they still make them like this. And that's it. A nice box of vintage screws. Just to add that bit of authenticity. The perfect brass screw that really does complete the antenna. So, did we find the part? No, we did not. We went through a hell of a lot of kits a lot of resources. We've shown you one image that we've got where you can barely see it. We have got some other images. You can see a little bit more, but it's still difficult. It's in a place that's hard to see, and that's probably why it's never been identified. So what have we done? Well, obviously we don't want to hold these helmets up. We have found a part in the torpedo boat which has got other parts on this antenna. So we're using this as a placeholder, fills the space. If you squint, it kind of looks the same, and to be fair, that's what most of our photographs look like. Is it the right part? I'm not going to say it is, but it's filling the space, it's doing the job, and when we do find the original part, if we ever do, but trust me, I'm making it my mission to find it, you guys will be the first to know, and then we'll sort out what we're going to do about switching it. It will just flick off. It's a separate piece, but we can't hold the helmet up to try and ID this part. The part's not been identified in 41 years, so I mean, that's the challenge, and we're rising to it. But in the meantime, I'm very happy with what we got. We're going to call that done. The search will continue, but in the meantime, the helmets will be shipping. So that's it, guys. The last video on the Boushh helmet. We've talked about it a lot over the past 18 months. We've got other things that we need to focus on and talk about and deal with, so we're going to be moving on to those. You'll be glad to hear, especially if you're on one of those other runs. But yeah, that's it. An anticlimax in one way, and yet a big climax in another way, because we're going to be shipping the helmets very soon. Notifications and social media will be updated as that starts happening, but it's pretty imminent now, guys, so not much longer to wait. And on that note, thank you for your patience as always with this project and with other projects. It's always time consuming. It's always difficult to gauge how long it's going to take. Things like this, little curveballs come up, which we try and overcome as we're moving through the project. That's it. Thank you, guys. Without you, none of this can happen. So until next time, thanks for watching, and tune in next week where we've got more updates, and hopefully we've got some exciting content to come in the very near future. So click that subscribe button. And that's it. That's the YouTube element of this video done. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Like next Friday.